Welcome back to Happy Professional Training. In today's video, I'll teach you 3 simple methods to solve percentage problems quickly and confidently. To make sure you get the hang of it, we'll work through 5 examples for each method together. So grab a pen and paper because these methods are going to save you a lot of time and effort. Let's start with method 1. This method is about finding 10% of a number first and then multiplying it to the percentage you actually need. Let's work on examples so that we get a clear understanding of this method. First, let's identify 30% of 150. To do that, first find 10% of 150. This can be done either by dividing 150 by 10, which is 15, or you can simply move the decimal point one place to the left. Next, we have to identify 30%. What is 30%? It's 3 into 10%. So 3 into, we already have found 10%, which is 15. So 3 into 15, which is equal to 45. Therefore, 30% of 150 is 45. Let's move to the next example. Now let's find 20% of 90. To do that, what we have to do? First, 10% of 90 we have to identify. How do we do that? 90 by 10, which is equal to 9. Or by moving the decimal one place to the left, which is equal to 9 here. We'll find 20%. What is 20%? It is 2 into 10%, which is 2 into, we already have answer for 10%, which is 9. So 2 into 9 equal to 18. Therefore, 20% of 90 is 18. Next, let's find 40% of 250. To do that, first we'll identify 10% of 250. 10% of 250 is 25. Next, 40%. What is 40%? It is 4 into 10%, right? So let's multiply 4 into, we already have 10%, which is 25. So 4 into 25, which is equal to 100. Therefore, 40% of 250 is 100. Did you get that? Next, let's solve 70% of 60. Can you work with me on this? First, 10% of 60. What is 10% of 60? It is 6. Next, 70%. 70% is 7 into 10%. So 7 into, we already have 6 as an answer here. So 7 into 6 is 42. Therefore, 70% of 60 is 42. We'll work one last example in this particular method. Let's find 90% of 80. So in your exam, you don't actually have to work on the steps, right? You don't have to write what is 10% of 80 and then you don't have to move to 90%, which is equal to 9 into 10. You don't have to explain it. I'm just explaining this for your understanding. With whatever we have learned now, can we quickly identify what is 10%? It is 8. What is 90%? 9 into 8, which is equal to 72. You got it? Now let's try second method. Second method is super useful when you need to calculate percentages that are in fractions. Like for example, 50% or 25% or 75%. Let's try with some examples. First, let's find 50% of 120. What is 50%? It is just half of whatever the number is. So 120 by 2 equal to 60. Let's try 25% of 200. We now know it's easier to calculate 50%. So first calculate 50%. What is 50%? 200 by 2, which is equal to 100 here, which is 50%. Now, to calculate 25%, we know that half of 50% would be 25%, correct? So we just take the answer of 50% and divide it by 2, which is equal to 50 here. Did you get that? Next, let's try 75% of 80. To solve this, I'm going to first identify 50% of 80. What is 50% of 80? 80 by 2, which is equal to 40. Now, half of it is 25%. What is 25% of 80? It should be 40 divided by 2, which is equal to 20. Now, to calculate 75%, I just have to add 50% plus 25%. In this case, it's 40 plus 20, which is equal to 60. Now find 50% of 180. How do we do that? 50% is just half of the number. So 180 by 2 is 9. Now find 25% of 160. What do? We first identify 50%, which is just half of 160, which is equal to 80. And then to do 25%, half of 50%. So what did we get for 50? 80 divided by 2 again is 40. So 25% of 160 is 40. For small percentages, doubling or halving is the best way. This works especially for percentages like 5% or 15% or even 1%. Let me show you how. First, let's try and find 5% of 200. We know that it is easier to identify 10%, right? So let's try 10% of 200. What is it? It's 20. We know that 5% is half of 10%, correct? So what is 10% already? It is 20. Half of it is 10, correct? So 5% of 200 is 10. Now let's find 15% of 400. Let's find 10% of this number. What is 10% of 400? It is 40. Now 5% of 400 is what? Just half of 10%. So 40 divided by 2, which is equal to 20. Now, to identify 15%, we can simply add what? 10% plus 5%, which is equal to 40 plus 20, which is equal to 60. Next, 1% of 700. To find 1%, you just have to move the decimal 2 places towards your left. 7 is the right answer here. Next, let's find 5% of 60. Let's find 10% of 60 first. What is 10% of 60? It is 6. Next, 5% is what? This is half of 10%. Remember? So 6 by 2, which is equal to 3. We'll work out one last question in this method. Let's find 15% of 120. How do we do this? First, let's identify 10% of 120. What is 10% of 120? It is 12. Next, we have to find 5% of 120. This is just half of 10%, correct? So, it is 6. To identify 15%, you just have to do what? Add 10% plus 5%, which is equal to 12 plus 6. And the answer is 18. Now, it's your turn. Try these 3 methods with your own numbers and share your results in the comment section below.